Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's video, the game review recap discuss. We're discussing games that happened over Tuesday and Wednesday. We're looking ahead to the games that are happening on Thursday and Friday. And we're also going to look at some of the standings updates. Plus, how are the teams doing this year compared to how they were doing last year at this exact same point in time. We'll get to all of that coming up right now. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here at the Internet Hockey Channel. Now, before we begin this video, don't forget to like this video and subscribe down below. Thank you for all of your support. I would never be able to do it without you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so we can reach 250 subscribers. I really appreciate that. And also don't forget to leave a comment down below so you can give your opinion on what we were discussing over here in this video. Now, I'm going to start this video off by discussing the games that happened over Thursday and Friday. There were 16 games that happened over the past 2 days of game action. 9 on Tuesday, 7 on Wednesday, so we got a couple of games here to talk about. We'll start with the games that happened on Tuesday. First, the Ottawa Senators were able to get out to a 3-goal lead and beat the Montreal Canadiens 4-1 to extend their point streak to 4 games and improve to 18-24-1, dropping the Montreal Canadiens to 19-21-7. So a very good win there for the Ottawa Senators. For the Senators, Sanderson, Pinto, Gregg, and Joseph were 4 goal scorers in the win, while Kovacevic was 1 goal scorer for Canadiens in the loss. So not a great game there from the Canadiens. They've now lost 3 straight. They're back down to below 500 by a couple of games, so not great stuff there for Montreal, but Ottawa's found their game and they're back up to playing extremely well, so really good stuff there for Ottawa. Then we saw the Dallas Stars have a 4-goal second period en route to a 5-4 victory over the Detroit Red Wings. Very good win there for Dallas and a fantastic second period, as they now have points in 5 of their last 6 games and improved to 28-13-6, so very good stuff there for Dallas, while the Wings dropped 24-18-5, so not great stuff there for Detroit. For Dallas, Johnston, who had 3 assists, and Hinch had 2 goals and 8 assists, both had 3-point nights. Harley had 2 assists, and Lindell, Marchman, and Ben also scored for the Stars in the win. While for the Red Wings, Larkin and the Brinkett both had a goal and 8 assists. Raymond had 2 assists, and Confer and Perron also scored for the Red Wings in the loss. So not a great game there for Red Wings. This was a winnable game. It got away from them in the second period, and they made it close at the end, but it was still a really bad game there from Detroit, so hopefully they can play better in the next game. Then we saw Tampa get out to a 3-0 lead, and they would be able to stave off the Philadelphia Flyers' late comeback attempt to beat them 6-3, as they have won 7 of 9 games and improved to 25-18-5, dropping the Flyers to 25-17-6. So not great stuff there for Philadelphia. For Tampa, Kucherov had a hat-trick in this game and a 4-point game with 3 goals and 8 assists. Point and Hagel both had a goal and 8 assists. Cirelli had 2 assists, and Isamont also scored for Lightning in the win, while Atkinson had a goal and 8 assists. Frost had 2 assists, and York and Drysdale also scored for the Flyers, Drysdale being his first as a member of Philadelphia. So very good stuff there for the Flyers. Made it close towards the end, but they dug into a hole they weren't able to get out of, and the Bolts were able to hold on for a victory. So very good stuff there for Tampa. Then we saw the Vegas Golden Knights get out to a 2-goal lead and hold on for a 3-2 victory over the New York Islanders, handing the Islanders the first loss under new head coach Patrick Waugh. Very good win there to extend their point streak to 5 games and improve to 28-14-6, dropping the Isles to 20-16-11. So not great stuff there for New York. Roy and Barbashev both had a goal and 8 assists. Pietrangelo had 2 assists. And then this goal here from Sheldon Rempel, his first career NHL goal, which was the second goal of the game for Vegas Golden Knights. Really good to see him score his first career NHL goal, and really good to see the Golden Knights be able to get a huge lead there. So that was really good stuff there to see for Vegas. Also scored for the Knights in the win, while Nelson and Pajot were 2 goal scorers in the loss for the Islanders. So not great stuff there for the Isles. Definitely one they want to have back. Winnable game against a really good Golden Knights team, but they do come out on the losing side of things. Then we saw the Minnesota Wild come out, grab a big lead. I think at one point it was 5-1. The Caps will try and make a late comeback attempt, but the Wild will hold on to beat them 5-3. They now have a 3-game winning streak and are back up to 500 at 21-21-5. So very good stuff there for the Wild. Johansson scored twice. Eriksson, Ek, and Foligno both had goal and 8 assists. And Faber also scored for the Wild in the win, while Mantha scored twice and Oshie also scored for the Caps in the loss. Caps dropped to 22-17-5. So not great stuff there for the Capitals. They're back down to only 5 games above 500. Not really great stuff there. Hopefully they can start to turn things around, but still, this was not a great game there from the Capitals. Well, the Wild have now started turning things around. They're back up to 500. So really good things there from Minnesota. Then we saw the Edmonton Oilers have a solid third period and break a 1-1 tie to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 4-1 to extend their winning streak to 14 games. Very good stuff there for Edmonton, who improved to 27-15-1, dropping the Jackets to 14-23-9. So not great stuff there for Columbus. Fogle and Kane both had a goal and 8 assists. Holloway and McDavid also scored for the Oilers in the win, while Voronkov was 1 goal scorer for the Jackets in the loss. So not a great game there for the Jackets. Definitely one they want to have back. It was a winnable game until the third period against the really hot Edmonton Oilers team, but the Oilers were able to break away in the third period. So really good stuff there for Edmonton. Then we saw St. Louis Blues come back after being down 3-1, score 3 goals, including one with a minute left in the third period, to beat the Calgary Flames 4-3 to improve 23-20-2. 2. Well, they dropped the Flames back down to 500 at 21-21-5. So not great stuff there for Calgary. Leddy had 3 assists, Sad scored twice, Parayko had 2 assists, and both Chen and Kyrou also scored for our Blues in the win, while Sharon Govich had a goal and an assist, and Weegar and Hannafin also scored for the Flames in the loss. So really bad stuff there for Calgary. They're back down to 500. Their task continues to get harder, trying to get back into the playoff race, as they've now lost 3 straight, and they're down to 21-21-5. So not great stuff there for Calgary. Well, it's a huge win there for St. Louis to keep pace for a playoff spot. Then we saw the Anaheim Ducks jump out to a 3-0 lead and beat the Buffalo Sabres 4-2 to improve to 16-30-1, while Sabres dropped to 20-23-4. So not great stuff there for Buffalo. Silverberg scored twice, Fowler had 2 assists, and Henrik and Carrick both also scored, and Zellweger had an assist in his first career NHL game for the Anaheim Ducks, so very good stuff there for Zellweger. While Greenwood had a goal and an assist, and Oposo also scored for the Sabres in the loss. So not a great game there from the Sabres. Winnable game against the low-end Ducks team. Made it interesting towards the end, but they couldn't overcome the 3-0 deficit that they dug themselves in. So not great stuff there for Buffalo to lose a winnable game against the Ducks. Then we saw the San Jose Sharks come back from that 2-0 to beat the New York Rangers in overtime, 3-2. Very good win there for the San Jose Sharks, who have now won 3 in a row and improved to 13-31-4, dropping the Rangers to 29-15-3. So not great stuff there for the Rangers. Ruud had 2 assists and Sturm. This goal here from Tomas Hertl, which was the OT winner. Very good winner there for Tomas Hertl to extend the Sharks' winning streak. And Carpenter were the 3 goal scorers for the Sharks in the win, while Fox had a goal and an assist, and Panarin also scored for the Rangers in the OT loss, as they have now lost 7 of 10. So not great stuff there for the New York Rangers, but still, it's a really good game for the San Jose Sharks. Resilient effort, came back from down 2-0, and they were able to get a huge win. So very good stuff there for the Sharks. Those were 9 games that happened over on Tuesday, going over to the 7 games that happened yesterday on Wednesday. First, the Maple Leafs were able to come away with a huge 1-0 victory over the Winnipeg Jets. Very good win there, thanks to an Austin Matthews OT winner. Very good stuff there for the Toronto Maple Leafs, while Samsonov stopped all 32 shots he faced in the shutout and victory for the Leafs. So the Jets fall to 30-11-5, while the Leafs improve to 24-14-8. So very good stuff there for the Leafs, who have now won 3 of 4. So very good stuff for Toronto. Well, the Winnipeg does have a really good game in this one, but they do fall in an overtime. So very good stuff there for the Jets. And we saw the Florida Panthers jump out to an astounding 5-0 lead en route to a 6-2 victory over the Arizona Coyotes. Very good dominant performance there from the Panthers, who now have a point of 4 of their last 5 games and improved to 29-14-4, dropping the Arizona Coyotes at 23-20-3. So very good stuff there for Florida. For the Panthers, Tkachuk had 2 goals and 8 assists. Varga had 3 assists, both at 3-point nights. Reinhart and Lundell both had a goal and 8 assists. Forsling had 2 assists, and Bennett and Gadjevich also scored for the Panthers in the win, while Gunther had a goal and 8 assists, and Cooley also scored for the Coyotes in the loss. So not a great game there from the Coyotes. Definitely one they want to have back. Embarrassing game against a really good opponent, and they fall a little bit farther away from the playoffs mark. So not great stuff there for Arizona. Then we saw the Carolina Hurricanes blow a 2-goal lead to recover and score a late third-period goal to beat the Boston Bruins 3-2 to improve to 26-15-5, ending the Bruins' 5-game winning streak, 9-game point streak, and dropping them to 29-9-9. So not great stuff there for the Boston Bruins. Teravainen had a goal and assist. Aho had 2 assists, and Martin and Canisius both also scored for Canes in the win, while Marchand scored twice, and Frederick had 2 assists for the Bruins in the loss. So not a great game there from the Bruins. Definitely one they want to have back. Tied it up, made an interesting game later on, but this was a loss for the Boston Bruins. So not great stuff there for Boston. Then we saw the Colorado Avalanche jump out to a 4-0 lead, and they were able to have a dominant performance over the Washington Capitals, beating them 6-2 to improve to 31-14-3. So a very good win there for the Colorado Avalanche to improve in the standings. McKinnon had a natural hat-trick, including this goal here, which I think was the 4th goal of the game for the Colorado Avalanche, including having a 5-point night. He wound up finishing with 4 goals and an assist. So McKinnon was absolutely on fire in this game, and he continues to light the league on fire with a huge performance there against the Capitals. Randon off that 5-point with a goal and 4 assists, and McCarr had a 3-point with a goal and 2 assists for the Avalanche in the win, while Strome scored both goals for the Capitals in the loss. So not a great game there for the Capitals, who fall at 22-18-6, while the Avalanche with the win improved to 31-14-3. So Avalanche keep pace with the Jets. Huge win there for them, while the Capitals are starting to fall out of a playoff spot at this point in time. Then we saw the Seattle Kraken jump out to a 3-goal lead and finally end their losing streak by having a convincing win over Chicago Blackhawks 6-2 to improve to 20-18-9, dropping the Blackhawks to 14-31-2. So not great stuff there for Chicago. Tatar scored twice, McCann had a goal and an assist, Eberle and Shells both had 2 assists, and Tanev, Schwartz, and Wemberg also scored for the Kraken Kraken in the win, while Jones had 2 assists, and Foligno and Anderson were 2 goal scorers for the Hawks in the loss. So not a great game there for the Hawks. Definitely one they want to have back. Definitely was an embarrassing loss for them, and they do end up falling to the hands of the Seattle Kraken, so very good stuff there for Seattle. Then we saw the St. Louis Blues get out to a 2-0 and 3-1 lead, would blow both of those leads. The Canucks would overcome both of those multi-goal deficits and tie the game up at 3-3, but in overtime the Blues were able to come away with a huge OT victory to improve to 24-20-2 with their 3rd straight win, dropping the Canucks to 32-11-5, but the Canucks are now up to a 10-game point streak. So very good stuff there for Vancouver. For St. Louis, Neighbors had a goal and 8 assists, Thomas had 2 assists, and Toropchenko, Shen, who had the OT winner, and Buchnevich also scored for the Blues in the win. While for the Canucks, Suter had a hat trick in this game, and both Hughes and Besters had 2 assists for Canucks in the OT loss. So not a great game there from the Canucks. Definitely want to head back. Don't want to really be digging yourself into 2-goal holes multiple times every night, but still they were able to find a way to get points out of this game. So really good stuff there for Vancouver, but St. Louis continues to climb the standings and get closer to a playoff spot. Then we saw the Buffalo Sabres overcome a 2-goal deficit and scored 4 unanswered goals to be the LA Kings 5-3 to improve to 21-23-4, dropping the Kings, who have now lost 12 of 14 to 22-14-9. So not great stuff there for LA. They're definitely slipping at this point in time, but really good win there for Buffalo to get themselves back up to only 2 games below 500. Paterka, who had 2 goals and 8 assists, and Quinn, who had a goal, 2 assists, both had 3-point nights. Cousins had a goal and 8 assists, and Tuck also scored for Sabres in the win, while Kempe had a goal and 8 assists, and both Kopitar and Dubois also scored for the Kings in the loss. So not a great game there for the Kings. Definitely one they want to have back. Not a great game there, and they definitely want to try and rectify this, as they've now lost 12 of 14. I'm sure Kings fans are really worried with the Kraken and Flames not too far behind them, and the Oilers have now passed them. So really bad stuff there for the Kings. They really need to get their act together. But those were the 7 games that happened over on Wednesday. So lots of interesting games that happened over the past couple of days. The 9 games on Tuesday, the 7 games yesterday on Wednesday. Lots of interesting things happened. Going over to the next couple of days of game action, going over to a quick game preview here. There's 9 games later today on Thursday, and there are 4 games tomorrow on Friday, so we'll get to all those games here. First, today, there are 4 games that happen at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Flyers take on the Red Wings. Flyers trying to end this losing streak of theirs. Take on the Red Wings. Teams trying to not have as bad a second period as they did against Dallas on Tuesday, so we'll see how that game goes. The Islanders take on the Montreal Canadiens. The Islanders trying to improve in the Metro Division. Take on the Canadiens. Teams trying to get back up to 500, or at least closer to it now. The Ottawa Senators are trying to keep their point streak rolling. Take on the Boston Bruins team, who's looking to try and get a win after losing their first game in regulation in quite some time. And the Arizona Coyotes take on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning trying to win their 8th in their last 10 games. Coyotes trying to win their 4th in their last 5 games and get closer to a playoff spot. Then we see at 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, the Devils take on the Canes. Both teams looking to try and get a huge win there. Canes trying to keep a top 3 spot in the Metro. Devils trying to keep in the race for a playoff spot. At 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Stars take on the Ducks. The Stars trying to keep pace with the Avs and the Jets for a top 3 spot in the Central Division. Ducks trying to keep good times rolling and try and get a 2nd straight win. Then also at 5 p.m. Pacific time, the Preds take on the Wild. Preds trying to end this sort of bad streak they've been on over the past little while and try and gain some ground. The West standings take on a Wild team is trying to look for their, I think it might be 4th straight victory to try and get above 500 again. Then at 6 p.m. Pacific time, the Jackets take on the Flames. Jackets trying to have a better game than they did against the Oilers, trying to take on a Flames team who's trying to end this losing streak of theirs. And then the Blackhawks look to play spoiler again, take on an Oilers team who's looking to win their 15th in a row. So very good stuff there for today for some of those games. And then tomorrow, there are only 4 games of NHL action. First, at 4 p.m. Pacific time, you have the Panthers taking on the Penguins. Panthers trying to keep pace with Boston for top spot in the Atlantic Division. Penguins trying to keep pace for a wild card spot. The Vegas Golden Knights take on New York Rangers for a second time. I think it was like a week and a half. Knights trying to keep pace with the Canucks and keep ahead of the Oilers in the Pacific Division. Rangers trying to keep ahead of all the teams trying to catch them in the Metro Division, so that'll be an interesting game. At 6 p.m. Pacific time, the Avalanche take on the Kings. Avalanche trying to keep ahead of the Stars and keep pace with the Jets for top spots in the Central Division, taking on a Kings team who's trying to finally end this losing streak and avoid losing 13 of their last 15 games. And then at 7 p.m. Pacific time, the Blues take on the Kraken, 2 teams who are really in desperate need of a win to keep pace for playoff spots with the Nashville Predators. So it will be interesting to see who wins there. But those are 13 games that happen over the next 2 days. 9 games happening later today, 4 games happen later tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see how those games turn out. And now going over to a quick look here at the standings as of January 25th, 2024. So as of right now, the Boston Bruins lead the Atlantic Division with 67 points, followed followed by 62 point Florida and 56 point Toronto. 61 point New York leads the Metro Division, followed by 57 point Carolina and 56 point Philly. The two wildcard teams are currently 55 point Tampa and 53 point Detroit, and they're followed by 51 point Jersey, 51 point New York I, 50 point Washington, 48 point Pittsburgh, 46 point Buffalo, 45 point Montreal, 37 point Ottawa, and 37 point Columbus. And those are teams currently out of playoff spot looking in. In the Eastern Conference, in the West, you have the 65 point Avs and the 65 point Jets tied for top spot in the Central Division. Right now, the Jets do still lead the Central. And then you have the 62 point Stars, third in the Central right now. Then you have the 69 point Vancouver Canucks leading the Pacific, followed by 62 point Vegas and 55 point Edmonton. 53 point LA is first wildcard, 51 point Nashville second wildcard. They're followed by 50 point St. Louis, 49 point Arizona, 49 point Seattle, 47 point Calgary and Minnesota, 33 point Anaheim, 30 point Chicago, and 30 point San Jose. And those are teams currently out of playoffs but looking in the Western Conference. So the standings definitely look interesting right now. It's definitely really, really tight for both wildcard spots. Definitely no one's really guaranteed except for maybe some of the top end teams in the Western Conference and maybe Boston, New York, and Florida in the Eastern Conference. So definitely it's a really tight race in both sides. It's going to be interesting to see who ends up coming away with making the playoffs. Next, going over to just a quick update here, just looking at how teams are doing this year compared to how they're doing at this point in time last year. So really interesting stuff to see. But if you look at how the Canucks were doing this year as compared to the exact same time in their season last year, the Canucks are 28 points ahead of where they were last year. That's a phenomenal record. The Canucks are on a pace to possibly finish at like 30-35 points ahead of how they were doing last year. They're doing phenomenal right now. The Coyotes are 16 points ahead of where they were last year. The Panthers are 13 points ahead of where they were last year. The Flyers are 9 points ahead of where they were last year. The Avalanche are 8 ahead of where they were last year, as are the Edmonton Oilers. The Columbus Blue Jackets are 7 ahead of where they were last year, and the Jets are 6 ahead of where they were last year. So definitely some teams who are doing a lot better than how they were doing last year. Well, if you look at teams who are doing worse than where they were last year, the Flames are 6 points lower than last year. The Sharks and the Leafs are 7 points lower than where they were last year. The Sabres, the Wild, and the Carolina Hurricanes are all 9 points lower than where they were last year. The Bolts are 10 points lower than where they were last year. The Devils are 11. The Kraken are 12, and the Bruins are 13 points lower. So definitely, the Bruins are still doing fantastic, but they are quite a bit lower than where they were last year. Jersey, Tampa, Seattle also double digits worse than where they were last year. Seattle still in the race for a playoff spot instead of being guaranteed one. Tampa, same sort of thing, playoff race instead of being guaranteed one. And Jersey, just a bit out of the playoff race, but still in it, not guaranteed one. So those teams were all doing extremely well last year, and they're all doing mediocre this year. So definitely interesting to see how teams like Tampa, Seattle, Jersey, and Boston are not doing overly well compared to how they were doing last year, but how teams like Arizona, who's now in a playoff race, Florida, who's looking pretty good in the Atlantic Division, and Vancouver, who's running away with the Pacific Division right now, are all doing a lot better than what we were doing last year. So definitely, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this down in the comment section below. That's all I want to talk about for today. What games were most exciting to you over the past couple of days? Any games that happened on Tuesday? Any games that happened yesterday on Wednesday? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. Which games are most looking forward to over the next couple of days? Any games that happen later today? Any games happening tomorrow? Definitely love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What do you think about the standings? Are you surprised that Calgary and Minnesota have the identical records? Are you surprised that Arizona and Seattle are not too far of a playoff spot? Are you surprised St. Louis is only a point out of a playoff spot? Are you surprised that the Kings are doing so bad and are now in first wildcard position? Are you surprised that the Canucks have a 7-point lead for top spot in the Pacific Division? Are you surprised that the Rangers lead for the Metro is only down to 4 points? Are you surprised that the Panthers now only down 5 points to Boston? Are you surprised that the wildcard race in the East is also really, really tight? Definitely. Let's hear your thoughts on all that down in the comment section below. Plus, what do you think about the teams who are doing a lot better or a lot worse compared to how they're doing at this exact point last year? So definitely, let's hear your thoughts on all that down in the comment section below. That's what I want to talk about for today. Remember to like this video, and if you're like to subscribe down below. Thank you for all your support. I've never been able to do with all of you guys, so don't forget to subscribe so we can turn to 50 subscribers. And also don't forget to leave a comment down in the comment section below. Also a blog talking about news, rumors, analysis, stuff like that, so if you check that out, leave a link to that in the description below. And I can't wait to see you guys all for the next video. See you guys soon.